The businesses that successfully solve some of the essential problems that we experience as humans are some of the biggest businesses out there. And in today's video, we're going to highlight and break down in extreme detail one such e-commerce brand that is solving the problem of hydration, which of course is a massive problem within humanity. We all need to stay hydrated, and for some reason some people just don't like drinking water normally. So we're going to be exploring the brand called Water Drop. We're going to look at their landing pages, their overall marketing strategy, their retail strategy, even down to the theme that they're using on Shopify. So rest assured, you're going to get some value out of this video whether you have an e-commerce store or not. This is going to be very good. So let's dive right in. As you see, the store is super beautiful, but what I really love about the store is that personally, I don't think it has the craziest design. I think what's just really cool about it is the images. They have really, really great product shots. That's pretty much it. In fact, I was able to find that they use the focal theme. So the focal theme is a $320 theme, which is not very expensive if you've used, web designers before, right? You can easily get a $5,000 website made out there, but for $320, you can use the same theme that this website is using. So that's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. And this is the Shopilab software. That's how I found this. But let's dive into some of their landers. So if we take a look at their top sellers, we can see, if we click on literally just best sellers, this is their best seller right here. So it's a 4-pack, the micro drink bestseller set. Now, by the way, if you don't know what these guys do, right, because these guys do, about $32 million a month, or at least that's what they did back in 2024. That's a lot of money. They help you with your hydration. They make tastier hydration simple for you. So basically, as you see right here, regardless if they're an old flame or a new introduction, our most popular micro drink, try them as a part of this exclusive set. So basically you get vitamins, you get fruit extracts, just a very tasty sort of supplement alternative that's going to keep you super hydrated. So how it works, as you see, is you just drop this little water thing in your water and it dissolves. That's one of the products they have. They have other innovations, I'm pretty sure. That's one of them. But it's pretty interesting. Not a lot of brands have this approach, right? A lot of brands have these packets that you use, but they just have this little water droplet, or not water droplet, just this little drop that you drop in your water. That's why it's called a water drop. And, you should shake it and it just makes your water pretty tasty. Super cool. And they also do sell water bottles. So that's a big angle that they have, is they sell all kinds of water bottles. So this is a very interesting point here. There's a lot of water bottle brands out there. You got Simple Modern, you got Yeti, Stanley, all these brands that make these really cool water bottles that are becoming fashion staples at this point. But what these guys have done cleverly is that they've also expanded into their recurring revenue of supplements, right, through hydration, which is kind of a natural transition or a smart transition for the brands out there that are selling water bottles. So note that one down. Now, what's really interesting about this brand as well is that they run a lot of ads, which is not surprising, but we're going to dive into some of the ads that they do run and get pretty deep with it. Now, as far as their traffic goes on their Shopify store, they're getting 420,000-ish monthly visitors from all over the world. And actually, they're primarily getting traffic from the UK. So shout out to the lads or the chaps in the UK. This is a UK-based brand. In fact, the co-founder of this brand, I just saw like a slight little snippet of it. He's from the UK. I believe this is a UK-founded brand. However, they get traffic from all over the world, and they even have retail stores from all over the world. That's actually what inspired this video, is that I posted on X yesterday this picture, and I said flagship stores are pretty cool for e-commerce brands. I went to the Mall of America yesterday. I live in Minnesota, so that's probably the coolest thing about Minnesota is that we have the Mall of America, and these guys are at the Mall of America, and what they do very, very well, as you can see by this image, is they create an experiential retail experience. It's not so much about selling you. Of course, they do sell you, and I did go in there, and the people in there are definitely good at sales, but they're really good also at just making you feel at home and educating you on the product. But basically, they created this experiential experience. That sounds redundant, but you get what I mean, right? It's an experience when you go in there. So it helps create trust for your brand. It also just puts your brand in the eyes of more people. But ultimately, I just think it's cool to have a flagship store. I think if you have an e-commerce brand that's just printing, you might as well invest a little bit of money into a flagship store that you curate and create an experience around. I think that might be the future of retail for e-commerce brands, because you can really create this super cool vibe. And these guys have scaled this out too, right? Because that's a cool thing about Shopify. They use Shopify on their Shopify store for their e-commerce direct-to-consumer side, but also Shopify for their point-of-sale system in each one of the stores. Super seamless, very clean, and just a cool thing that's happening in the world. Now, if we look at the keyword volume for Water Drop, we can see, they're getting a ton of monthly search, and it's actually very consistent as well. I mean, we could look up, for example, hydration drops. I don't even know if that's a thing, but I'm just very curious. So that's not much of a thing, but let's just see packet, hydration packet, I believe. Okay, that's also not a thing. Just hydration. I mean, they have that's less monthly search traffic on Google than just Water Drop. That's insane. I think that tells you a lot about how popular this brand has gotten. So it's no surprise that they do that kind of volume. Now let's move on to some of the pages that they're using, because this is a little bit of a secret e-commerce technique here, which is not so secret at all, but it's using advertorials and just trust building assets on your site to convert more traffic, right? And just provide value. They actually do it more so to provide value, not so much necessarily to sell people on it, but one of the best ways to sell people is to provide value and educate them. So they have genuine blogs that they have on their site where they educate people on different vitamins, different health trends that all sort of backlink to their products. I also found they have so many pages. I also found this through Shopilab too, but they have a million different pages, so many different blogs. They're building so many blogs, which is cool. I think this is kind of a old thing to do, if you could consider it that, right? Blogging was kind of a big thing back in the day, but I think it could be very powerful still to just continuously create blogs with the intention of making them advertorials or pre-landers that then you can run ads to. It's a very smart thing to do, and it does work extremely well for running ads, right? And just like dialing in on an avatar that you can have very congruent ads for, and then you'll lead them to a pre-lander, and then that pre-lander leads them to a sales page. It's a very smart approach that you should definitely test if you haven't already. We have tested this a lot at our agency, at Chemi. If you have ever seen us, we got a pretty cool agency. We were on Google, TikTok ads, and Meta ads, all the machine learning paid ads platforms, and we do a great job. I have a great team there, and I love what they're doing. But ultimately, this brand is doing everything right, to be honest, and they're keeping things fairly simple, in my opinion. As I mentioned, they're using a pretty simple theme. It looks beautiful. There's, of course, some custom coded things in here, but with ChatGPT, it's pretty easy to do custom code on your site, and even Shopify helps you with it these days too. It's pretty insane. But really what carries this is their product images, right? They have brilliant images that are just so congruent throughout everything. Even if you just look at the details here, right? You can see this same sort of tile pattern on the furniture here or some of the displays. And we can actually see that on the site too, right? They got these tiles here. So they're very big fans of tiles. It's one of the things I'm learning about this brand. Now, they got a nice offer. Spend $90 plus and get a free glass or steel bottle. That's a very nice one. So let's actually move on to their marketing strategy, their ads. Let's get a little bit deeper there, because that's always a smart thing to do. See what kind of ads they're running. Now, this is also what I think is really cool about retail locations, is whatever ads you run on Meta, of course you're going to get more sales, but you're also going to get more brand awareness out there for people that are shopping in their local areas, right? You could literally localize brand awareness ads with Meta or TikTok to the specific places that you have retail locations in. I'm not sure if people are thinking like that about Meta ads. I think people are just very kind of stuck on this, or at least like the pro marketers on Meta are stuck on this one CBO vibe. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. I'm going to continue with value, but I need to go on this tangent super quick. They're stuck on this one CBO vibe, which does work, of course, and it's an amazing approach. But hey, Meta has more campaigns than just sales, right? And we do have some accounts that are getting crazy ROAS with a mix of awareness and conversion campaigns. So hey, maybe that's something you need to keep in mind as well. But as you see, just through a quick glance, they're running a variety of different ad formats. They got some very clean static ads, limited edition summer collection. So, these are, of course, like middle, bottom of the funnel ads. They're running a lot of UGC ads in 4x5 format and in 9x16 format, which are the winning formats these days. Of course, you don't see really any square ads, or at least square videos. All of them are 4x5 or 9x16. And it makes sense. The reason why it makes sense is because 4x5 takes the most screen coverage on your phone. And then, of course, 9x16 is kind of the most flexible placement because it can be ran on feeds through Reels, on stories through stories. And I mean, yeah, those are the best placements. So it's pretty cool what you can do. Let's dive into one of their videos here and see. Oh, some of these are for Europe. So yeah, they do have localized stores. They even have different pages for each location, for each geolocation. But let's take a look here. So they're running ads to these. Okay, well, I'm just going to close this. They're running ads to collection pages. Smart or not, I'm not sure. I think it is smart. I mean, it's probably working for them. Oh, I'm lost. Okay, so let's take a look at one of these, actually. Oh my gosh, that's loud. So let's see. New Water Drop Limited Edition Wildberry Fusion Paradise Fusion. Let's see the hook.
Taste time. New limited edition Wildberry Fusion and Paradise Fusion from Water Drop. They have no sugar, contain no artificial preservatives, and are supposedly absolutely delicious. First up, Wildberry Fusion.
I actually really like that she said supposedly, because it kind of really ties you into the video. Now you kind of want to hear, hey, is it actually, delicious? Also, this is very well edited. I love the background music. This is like a very professionally produced ad, but in a very native style, right? They're using these TikTok fonts and, iPhone quality, but the production quality is very high still for this. I like it. Okay, I'm actually going to have to get rid of the noise here. I don't want to get copyright claimed to oblivion. I mean, I don't know. They might be able to copyright claim me for that. But yeah, this is a pretty long ad. We're not going to watch this whole thing, but ultimately, yeah, this is really good. Very good pace. I think these are actually really, really good ads that you could add to your swipe files and, send to your UGC teams. Or even if you're using AI UGC, which, stay tuned for that. Okay, I'm just going to tell you to stay tuned for that. Follow me for more stuff on that. We're using a lot of AI UGC stuff these days. So I'm going to make more content around that. But these are great formats that you can take advantage of at any time. Let's look at one more here. This is a man's POV. So this guy's saying, is there anything
better than a nice cold refreshing drink
after a workout? That's kind of a good hook. It's just a good question. Is there anything better than a cold drink after a workout? I mean, no, not really.
No. There isn't. My only problem? Most good drinks are full of sugar. That's why I switched to these. And now that Water Drop has released this new limited edition, you should too. The new limited edition is available in 2 delicious flavours. Wildberry Fusion with blackcurrant, blackberry and raspberry. And Paradise Fusion with mango, orange and pomegranate.
Yeah, these are great ads, as you see. Like, it's the same thing I mentioned from the last ad that I caught, which is that it's very professionally produced, right? Like, they got backward shots in there, they got great hooks in there, great pacing, great music to set this mood and tone, but it's also native quality, right? So it kind of blends in very, very well into your feed, and that's what makes it very effective. So let's actually see where this is being driven to. So again, collection pages, they love driving to this collection page where they're selling you on a water bottle and on the hydration packet, which again is such a winning combination. I mean, it doesn't get more smart and genius than that. But let me take a look at this comment analysis real quick with you. It's an AI comment analysis from Smart Reply. It's a free tool. Just go to smartreply.io. It's one of the AI tools that we use pretty frequently because we want to find out through their page comments what people actually think. This is it's skewed usually negative, I will say, or neutral, because people tend to comment on pages just to hate, but we've seen on the channel a lot of instances, not a lot, it's kind of rare, but some instances where their positive comment rate is super high. And those are brands that are definitely worth noting and taking inspiration from. But also we can see that they're only replying to 30% of comments, which is pretty insane. I see this across so many different brands. Even Fashion Nova has like a 20% reply rate. So, these brands are getting so many comments. It's crazy to me that they're not maximizing every single touch point, especially when it's so easy to do so these days with AI. And that's what Smart Reply does, right? It's an AI agent to reply to all comments, engage in conversations, even handle your DMs and customer service. So anyways, marketing angles here: promote eco-friendly return and recycling programs. Interesting. So people like that. Emphasize unique and diverse flavor options. Of course, people like variety. Community and local store opening excitement. So this is another reason why local store openings are actually kind of awesome, besides the fact that it can make you more sales, but it can really engage and ignite a community around your product. So yeah, let's see. The cola is awful. People don't like the cola. Honestly, the cola flavor is acidic. So, okay, people are not liking the cola flavor. Note that down if you're making a cola flavored drink. Love the product, but sodium is high. Water drops, zero sweetener, zero additive. Make one that's 100% healthy, and I'd give it a go. What about Apple and the new flavors? Okay, so just a lot of different questions. We're not really getting too much from this. Quite possibly my favorite flavor. I can't believe it only has 2 out of 5 star rating on the US website. That's kind of an interesting comment. Let's see, super cute. Waiting for my last points to post so I can get the other rainbow bottle first. I've been impatiently waiting. This is such a winning, this just tells you you're winning, right? When people are eagerly waiting to collect points from your reward systems just to get more product, that tells you why this brand is so powerful. Wow, that is very, very cool. So that's that. Just wanted to highlight this a little bit, give you some more value on it. Focal theme. This is by Maestro. I think that's how you pronounce this. These guys make some awesome themes. I can't lie. I think their themes are very, very good. Their Instagram page is pretty clean. They're not getting a ton of engagement. I mean, I'm sure they're running this one as an ad. It's a giveaway post. So perhaps they are using more brand awareness ads and things of that nature, which is pretty cool. But I mean, their engagement's pretty decent. Just a lot of brands don't get the best engagement on Instagram, which is not a problem at all, really, because they're running a lot of paid ads. But they are getting good engagement, which is very cool to see. They have such a strong brand image too. They know exactly who they're targeting. This is something that we talk a lot about on the channel, but it's so clearly like a millennial vibe to me. It's and maybe slightly younger too. So it kind of does skew from what I'm seeing between 25 and 45. That's kind of their target demographic, it seems, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's a good demo, but what's important about it is just the fact that it's so prevalent, right? And I think a lot of people miss this. You don't have to be super extreme in your ICP, right? Like your ideal customer profile, but I think having a good idea of who you're targeting and what pain points you're solving for them is really smart, because then you can cater your language to them, right? Which makes your marketing more effective. So I mean, there's not much more to talk about this brand, really. They're just crushing it. They have really cool stores. They're getting traffic from all over the world, even Japan. They're printing in Japan, which is super cool. I want to print in Japan. And yeah, follow me on my profiles if you want to engage with me, if you want more of this content, some of this data. And of course, go to shopilab.ai if you want to join our accelerator. You get access to all of our software tools, but also you get access to our community. There's people doing $1 million a month in there. We do a weekly call. It's super fun, and I want to invest in some of the brands and founders that join. That's kind of the overarching vision behind it, besides obviously providing really awesome software tools. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.